First tonight, the sex scandal that's rocked one of our biggest retailers. David Jones has been trying to keep a lid on the innuendo flying around after its CEO, Mark McGuinness, resigned in disgrace. No easy task when the resignation comes with an apology for inappropriate sexual advances to a 25-year-old staff member. So what was going on behind the cosmetics counter that forced the high flyer to crash with such a thud? James Thomas has the story.
Right now at David Jones, you're invited to save throughout the store.
David Jones' Chief Executive Officer, Mark McGuinness, on the job. He is known for a unique combination of nous, style and a nose for retail, and a keen eye for his other passion.
Mark McGuinness is, in one short word, a flirt.
It is an image that David Jones, a company with a majority of employees being women, hoped wouldn't haunt them. Mark McGuinness was a ticking time bomb.
I know Mark's form. There's always been stories about late-night phone calls and suggestive text messages and suggestive emails, so I know pretty much it gets to a little bit of a sleazy level.
DJ's name was founded on respectability, but today the David Jones image was hammered by the actions of their very own CEO, Mark McGuinness.
I have committed serious errors of judgment and have inexcusably let down the female staff member.
He had a reputation for having a good time. The good times got the better of him, and today his board announced they had accepted his resignation for his role in a workplace sex scandal involving a 25-year-old female employee.
Mark McGuinness has admitted to behaving in a manner unbecoming of a chief executive officer to a female staff member at two recent company functions. Mark offered his resignation and the company accepted.
It's a tried and true recipe for disaster. A work function, a couple of beers, and suddenly you can see how employees become prey. As the shackles of work loosen, it's not far from this to this.
This is now a major blow to David Jones, and they may lose a bit of their momentum in the marketplace.
Crikey.com founder Stephen Mayne says most of DJ's staff are female, as are their customers. Allegations of sexual misconduct are a big issue for this company.
David Jones is the last company in Australia that can afford a scandal of a blokey CEO mistreating female staff.
When he entered the ranks of David Jones in 2003, he was inheriting a brand that had garnered a reputation for being too snooty, almost irrelevant. He turned DJ's more mainstream, more accessible. Up until yesterday, it was winning the battle against nearest rival, Myer.
From the time he took over as CEO in February 2003, David Jones has significantly outclassed and outplayed Myer in terms of profit and sales growth and performance.
The $6 million a year former CEO admitted inappropriate behaviour, but just what it was remains the subject of speculation across the cosmetics counter.
It must have been something extreme. It wouldn't have just been a kiss on both cheeks. It was probably the way he did it and the intent and the message that was there.
Gossip columnist Ros Raines says the leading executive had a wild side that had the rumour mill constantly buzzing.
He has a partner, but he has been essentially a single man for quite some time. He was married before. And yes, he's had lots of affairs with different people, and that's where he is.
This is the one person in the country who should be absolutely rock solid in not crossing that line of inappropriate behaviour towards women.
Founded in 1838 by a Welsh immigrant named, funnily enough, David Jones, it is the oldest continuously operating department store in the world, still trading under its original name. DJ survived a disastrous decade in the 1990s, shares falling as low as 90 cents. Enter McGuinness.
He's taken David Jones more upmarket, he's kept the costs down, and he's won in the marketplace from Myer.
Now, though, through his actions, DJ's has taken a major backward step. $100 million was wiped off its share value today.
The board is also making a very big statement that the company won't tolerate this sort of behaviour towards women.
He's not the first to disgrace himself at a work function. Former Liberal leader John Brogden sowed the seeds of his own destruction when he racially vilified then Labor leader and Premier Bob Carr's wife. And former New South Wales Police Minister Matt Brown was sacked 3 days into his job in 2008 after a wild party in Parliament House, where he danced semi-naked and simulated a sex act on a female MP who is a grandmother. And the election hopes of the West Australian Liberals leader Troy Buswell plummeted after he sniffed the chair of a female staffer after a meeting in his office in 2006.
There are a lot of CEOs out there in Australia today who will be quaking in their boots that some of their inappropriate behaviour over the years doesn't come to the surface.